as you could tell by the title, we're going to review Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop by Emmeline Duncan. Emmeline Duncan. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is a library find. Um, I it's really cool. Um, but it's also kind of funny because, all right, check this out. I've had this book for like way too long. This book and another book from the same library is like way overdue. I don't know why it's been taking me so long uh, to do this. Just trying to work through so much stuff. All right, so anyway, it's a mystery, murder mystery. It is one of the cozy mysteries series. It's a cozy mystery. This is 245 pages long. It's a real quick and easy read, which is kind of funny because I ended up reading this book twice. I read it twice. There are two word oddities in it, and this book was released a year ago, July 2024, and it is the first book of a two-book series so far, right? Which is really peculiar for me uh, because of the way that I find the titles that I read, because of what I normally do to find a book. I very seldom actually find the first book of the series and read that first. I usually start somewhere in the middle. I don't even find the last book in the series almost every single time. Almost every single time, because this time I actually found the first book. The first book in the series. That's pretty cool, right? I guess. I don't know. Because what's the probability? What's the probability? It's been very slim up to this point. Anyway, Emmeline is the author of 7 titles currently. She actually has one standalone book, and then she has a 5 book series, and then this book, and then book number 7. No, book number 8. I guess I still 7 because the 8 number hasn't. Book 2 in the series hasn't been released yet. It's going to come out at the end of the month, July, at the end of this month. So Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop is the first in a 2 book series so far. So far, and if you enjoy like cozy mysteries, then this is a book for you, definitely, right? Because first of all, it can be read as a standalone title. Since it's the first book, it comes complete with enough details that, and it closes that if you don't read another book, then you're not missing out on anything, right? And you don't need to read anything to prepare you for these characters. So there is a definite beginning and an ending, even though the story can, life, the characters can continue to go on after the book ends. There is a definite feeling of an ending to the story, with the probability that more can happen. But I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. Do you? The scenery is fairly described, giving the reader just enough details to use their imagination. So, it's descriptive, but just enough for you to put your spin and use your own perception for how it looks and feels. So, I think it's written well in that sense. And I get the feeling that Emmeline has, you know, a similar writing style for her other books. I haven't read anything else from her before. This is my first time reading anything from Emmeline, and but I get the feeling because there's such a natural flow and rhythm that just comes with, some level of comfort. And because of that, it's something that just, comes natural to her. Uh, the writing in this book, really just feels natural. And it's straightforward. It's not hard to understand. It's not really hard to understand. Straightforward. There are like no hidden messages. There's no ulterior thought lined up with this. I'm trying to. I want you to figure something out while you're reading this. It's just kind of a straightforward. Here's a few things. Here's my characters. The characters do have some depth, so that's pretty cool, right? Um, so basically, we take this journey riding on the curtails of the main character. Her name is Bailey Briggs. Bailey Briggs, she is a fairly new owner of a local bookshop that she has taken over from her grandfather. Uh, Her grandfather has given her the store to try to keep it out of her uncle's hands. Her uncle wants possession of the store so he can sell it, and develop the property into something else. He wants to make money off of he doesn't think bookshops are worth the investment. But both Bailey and her grandfather, love books and they don't want to lose the bookstore. So he turned everything over to Bailey as, his replacement. And they're located in a small town in Portland. Well, they're in Oregon, outside of Portland, nearby Portland, but far enough away. It's a small town, and the small town celebrates a year-round holiday theme. And of course, the town has some history, and but Bailey has a little bit of history herself, and that's more about what the book is about. So Bailey has um, this town celebrates Halloween. I said that right. It celebrates Halloween all year round, and twice as hard in October. They have a month-long celebration. The town decorates. All their shops are named with a Halloween theme, haunted theme. They became famous because a movie was filmed in their town, and it was a haunted movie, right? A horror movie, and so it just adds to their haunted Halloween theme. And so right around in October, they all get flooded with tourists who wants to see all the all of the cinematography area. The film was filmed on location in the town, and so Bailey decides that to promote the books shop more, she's added a week-long literary festival um, in front of the big Halloween, the month of October special. So they stay almost the last 2 weeks mostly is where the big tourism hits the town. But a lot of the tourists start showing up at the beginning of the month. And throughout the month, they stay because the last 2 weeks, it's just overcrowded. So you get some visitors that come a little early that want to try and get in some of the sightseeing before it becomes hectic. And uh, they Bailey wanted to add more to it by promoting the store. And so she got together a lot of events. There was a murder night where you actually, murder and a dinner, where you actually get to solve the murder crime. There's a couple of meet and greets with some popular authors that she invited to town. Some of them were actually local, locals who have moved away. And they come back. They've been invited several times, but they've never came back until now. A couple of locals who graduated high school from there, they came back to celebrate um, the literary festival. So fortunately, um, uh, fortunately, Bailey and her grandfather are close. So Bailey's grandfather raised her, and her mother. She knows her mother, but she doesn't really have a close relationship with her, and she never knew who her father was. Her mother never told her, right? But Bailey's mom had like graduated from high school and immediately left town. She went to school, college, and she ended up getting into, I think, law school, I think, I remember. But she ended up doing very well, and she ended up um, starting a whole new family. So the drama is pretty heavy in this. So Bailey is the result of a teen pregnancy. Mom graduated from school, left the area, gave Bailey to her father for him to raise her. And she left and never came back. She never told him about her father. And yeah, so Bailey has some issues, right? And now her mom she has step siblings. Bailey has step siblings. And her mom gives them the attention and the love that Bailey doesn't get. She doesn't show her the same respect. They are able to interact and they talk, and but they don't have a very strong relationship. As a matter of fact, there's a little bit of animosity towards her mom for not giving her the respect that she gives the others. Yeah, so, wow, there you go. But drama begins to unfold as everybody's past, so a couple of the characters come out, Rex and Lance, her grandfather, her mother. Those are closely knit. Her best friend is Colby. Her best friend's sister works for Bailey. But two of the old um, local success stories, two of the guys that graduated, I think the year before her mother, they knew her mother. They come back to town and they're all there. And what is it? Hometown success stories, right? These two guys accept the invitation to come home and come to find out they've got history. They didn't know originally that Bailey was her mother's daughter. They knew her mother, but there was a breakdown in the connection of who she was, right? And so the drama immediately starts to unfold. And as their past begins to reveal that they were all close to her mother, um, she became curious and started drawing conclusions as to who her father could possibly be, if it's one of these guys that knew her mother from way back when. And this dilemma seems to be the main focus of the story. It's a murder mystery, but the murder definitely takes second stage to Bailey's drama, right? With bodies looming into the story, um, to me, searching for the killer seemed to take second stage. And fortunately, when the killer is finally revealed at the very end of the story, it's highly likely that you're not going to be able to guess who it is. Caught me by surprise, but they used the very last chapter and the very end to be able to give you all of the hints and tie it all together. And Bailey was the one to do this. So I wasn't really, eh, with the police involved. It was unfortunate to me because I think the not necessarily a police procedural, but this story was introduced as Bailey being the prime suspect and Bailey being the one to conduct the investigation and solve the crime. And it really wasn't like that. Um, Great story. I enjoyed it. Very cozy, very quick, very easy to read, but it was not as it was portrayed. And there you have it. Um, it does come to a close, and it was a very entertaining read. So with that, Um, we're going to rate this a 3.6. 3.6. We'll rate it as 3.6. It is a CGR like. Give it a thumbs up. And I'm also going to add that there's going to be four um, conclusions to help give you a better idea of how well I like the story. So, uh, not willing to read another title from Emmeline, willing to read another title from Emmeline, curiously willing, and then more than willing. Of course, the more than willing is me actually going to the library and seeking her next title. Curiously is, if I come across it, I'm definitely going to want to read it. Willing, yeah, okay, there was nothing wrong with the book. I'll continue to read. And then, of course, not willing is the book was bad. I don't know. I'm curious as to whether or not she can write anything good. I am giving this title a curiously willing because I am looking forward to what happens moving forward. And there you have it. Do me a favor, stick around for the reader's reaction. Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookstore, the first four chapters. Uh, Acumen, right? Acumen. I came across one of my familiar word oddities. So it's from a different book. How cool is that, right? Okay, so the book opens with a long list of characters. I mean, like 16 of them. And so this town, small town, celebrates Halloween like all year, hard, and then twice as hard in October. Uh, this town has history and character, and these characters have depth, and of course, drama starts to show its face almost immediately, right? There are just so many folks to keep up with. But it starts off very easy to read, and it's enjoyable. But like I said, the drama starts like almost immediately. Okay, so hey, the characters are easy to tolerate. They don't make a lot of dumb decisions. They're not overly pretentious. You really start to feel for the main character, though. She has a good life, um, but you kind of feel bad for her in spite of it because of all the little drama that she's going through. And even though the characters are easy to relate with, they start to get on your nerves a little bit, slightly, right? But yeah, I think the one thing that really gets me the most is this Halloween themed town. They have all these little funky names for the shops, really strange. It's supposed to go with the theme of the town. But I mean, good night. They're corny. They're so bad. They're so bad. And it kind of, takes away from the story, just trying to be able to. They mention the story, the names of the stores a lot. And so it takes away from the joy when you're going to focus so much on the names of these shops. So, can we at least change that? Okay, so in conclusion, we finally get to know who the killer is. And I don't really think I would have figured it out before now. But did we really have to wait until the end of the book? I mean, the final chapter, I mean, the end of the final chapter, and not even a hint up to this point. I kind of felt like the ending was a little rushed, and maybe for the element of surprise, because I don't think you can really. I don't know. You read the book. You tell me. Was there any hint as to who it could have possibly been? I don't know. I don't think so. But I also don't really feel like the main character was actually considered the prime suspect, nor was she actually conducting an investigation. She asked some questions. She read some memoirs and library books. You check some old high school references. Is that really an investigation? Nah, it really was about Bailey and her life and how these deaths just kind of interfered and maybe even opened the door for her to be able to get some closure in her life. So, still a great read. I don't think it was portrayed the way it actually read out, but I enjoyed the book, and I am curiously willing to read the next one in line. Thanks for joining me.